I want to show you guys this. I want to show you guys this just because I saw this earlier and the topic of the View came up. Just to show, I don't know what's going on over there, but they had Adam Schiff. And this is kind of a slight change of topic. But since we talk about the View, Aaron Mate was tweeting about this because the Russiagate story has completely fallen apart. People who are responsible for the dossier are being arrested for lying to the FBI. And once again, this is not me praising the View, guys. I do not like the View, right? But but Aaron Mate's point is this is an indictment of our media, where you had Adam Schiff, the biggest pusher of Russiagate. He got destroyed on the View. You got any thoughts, Courtney, before I play this?
No, go ahead and hit it. I want to be fresh.
Well, so I didn't know if I interrupted you, but I want to let me reset the audio here. But I want to show you guys this because I think this is funny. Once again, this is not me praising the View at all, but it says a lot that they exposed this guy, Adam Schiff, who is a fraud, a corporate Democrat at the highest order. I can go all day into Adam Schiff, but watch this video.
So I want to ask you about something that's in the news a lot right now. You've been really prolific over the past few years being the head of the Intel Committee, and you've defended, promoted, you even read into the congressional record the Steele dossier. And we know last week the main source of the dossier was indicted by the FBI for lying about most of the key claims in that dossier. Do you have any reflections on your role in promoting this to the American people?
Well, first of all, whoever lied to the FBI or
So what she's talking about, despite the neoliberal narrative that you're going to have a ton of Trump people going to prison, the people that were going to prison were a lot of Hillary Clinton allies who was lying to the FBI in order to create the Steele dossier, which they used to justify the investigation into Trump, right? And Adam Schiff was one of the main people who spearheaded this. So she is confronting him, which you would never see on MSNBC or CNN.
Right.
I just want to, you would never see, and that's why I'm like, I saw this. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, some people will have a gym. So that's why they get a little nervous. But it's so interesting because they harped the Russiagate stuff for so long. I mean, I wanted it to be true because I was like, completely in Trump derangement when he first got in. But once you learn new facts, they don't want people to have any, create critical thinking to go into it and introduce any. That's the narrative that they went with, and they're just going to let it lie there and not put as much attention on correcting that, because I didn't know that guy was getting arrested. Kind of a big piece of information,
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people, and this is the thing, just like you, and I didn't have a platform in 2016, so a lot of people don't know, but I was very, very against Trump because I was paying attention to what he was doing on a policy level. And when you pay attention to what he was doing on the policy level, especially when you kind of a foreign policy nerd like me, you see that he actually being tough against Russia when he is arming Ukrainian rebels. He's pulled out of the nuclear arms treaty in Russia. He is literally cooping countries that is allied with Putin, like Maduro and Venezuela. So when you actually pay attention, which I was, because I was like, when they said the Russian connection, I'm like, all right, maybe there's some like financial crimes there, but the whole idea that he's like some sort of government puppet to Putin, I'm like, dude, there is a billion things you can attack Trump for. Like, he's a war criminal. He is running inhumane immigration policy. He's a corporate puppet that giving fucking corporate bailouts. He is funding genocides in multiple countries. He you can attack him as just another steward.
He was laundering money to his hotel right there in DC, right down the street. Exactly. Like, why didn't they get him on that?
Yeah, there's so many things you could actually got him on. And I make fun of Trump supporters all the time because I would tell them, like, like Trump went after Hillary Clinton because of her corruption with the Saudis. And that was a good point. Her connection with the Clinton Foundation and the illegal the bribes they got from Saudi Arabia that made the Hillary Clinton Secretary of State position be very friendly to Saudi Arabia. And that's just been her foreign policy her entire career, given the weapons deal being very favorable to the regime because of that pay to play corruption. But then Donald Trump got in office and he did the same thing. So I'm like, MAGA, I thought you guys was against this shit.
He did a really good outsider campaign and then did a lot of the same swamp stuff.
Yeah, and then a lot of people were calling Trump anti-war, and he actually increased the drone strike, and he actually ordered the Pentagon to when it comes to counting drone strike deaths, he actually made it harder for them to do that. So he wanted to like cover up the drone strike deaths that he was responsible for. I'm trying to remember the exact provision. I'm sorry, I don't remember on top of my head, but he reversed a provision that made it harder to track the civilians that he killed.
For as terrible as he is, I like that he tries to find workarounds to get what he wants. I just want somebody to do that for good, to be like, you know what, let's not count this way, just for good though, not to kill people. But wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I went on a little spill here. I'm gonna go back to this because this is and the reason I brought all that up because my point is there's a lot of good reason to go after Trump. So when I was debunking Russiagate, I'm like, I already knew this would be used against the left. I knew this would be used to prop up military budgets and additional covert operations, which will be used against the left, which we already seen right now when there was when they was pulling Facebook and Instagram accounts for Nicaraguan Sandinistas. So they already used this against the left. They were banning activists who protested for Line 3. They were purging them for social media. The same money they gave to the police after January 6th, they used to go after the indigenous people. So you got to understand basic theory. Like if you know the state always expands to go after the left, you don't fall for Russiagate. Right. You know what I mean? And this is kind of stuff. And people was like, why are you a Trump sympathizer just because you're debunking Russiagate? No, it had nothing to do with that. Like I want him impeached too. I want him impeached for funding the genocide in Yemen.
Yeah, well, that's why you're a leader, because you can see the bigger picture and you're trying to get people to see that rather than getting stuck in this minutia of where they want us to be, left and right and all of that. When, yeah, you're right. When they use that tactic on the right side, they're definitely looking for a way to use it over here. So,
all right, sorry guys, I'm talking too damn much. So let's play this clip. So hopefully that gives you guys enough background. We didn't get back to Obama as well, but I think this is a good segment here. So let's I'm gonna start from the beginning. So now you guys know what she called him out for being with the main person that spearhead the Steele dossier and Russiagate nonsense. And now she calls him out for that whole story falling apart, which the media did not cover. Like these people are being indicted for lying to the FBI.
Is she like the conservative lady that they're trying on there?
I think so. Like the thing is, like there's a lot of liberals like, oh, she's got conservative bias. And I'm like, yeah, she does. I got a left bias. Like I don't admit it. So, but if you're right, you're right. Like I don't use that to discredit someone's argument. Like if you have a right winger, like if Tucker Carlson argues for ending the wars, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're fucking right winger. I don't fuck ending the wars. You know what I mean? So it's just basic.
He says correct things, and other times he's racist. You just that's what it is.
Yeah, but to be clear, guys, I have no idea who any of these people are. So like I don't know. Like I see the view in clips. So I just saw this almost as a neutral observer because I didn't have any preconceived. I don't know who she is. So anyway, let's watch the clip because I think like she dismantles him, whoever she is. She dismantles him. Watch this.
So I want to ask you about something that's in the news a lot right now. You've been really prolific over the past few years being the head of the Intel Committee, and you've defended, promoted, you even read into the congressional record the Steele dossier. And we know last week the main source of the dossier was indicted by the FBI for lying about most of the key claims in that dossier. Do you have any reflections on your role in promoting this to the American people?
Well, first of all, whoever lied to the FBI or lied to Christopher Steele should be prosecuted, and they are. And unlike in the Trump administration, if they're convicted, they should go to jail, not be pardoned. So Donald Trump pardoned Roger Stone for lying. He pardoned Michael Flynn for lying. If people lied to the FBI, they should go to jail. But at the beginning of the Russia investigation,
I'm laughing because you guys see how transparent that pivot is. From the question, he's like, "Well, Trump." Anyway,
got to.
I just want to laugh about that, but I'm not going to stop it too much.
Said that any allegations should be investigated. We couldn't have known, for example, people were lying to Christopher Steele, so it was proper to investigate them. And let's not forget what we learned in that investigation. We learned that the Trump campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, was giving internal polling data, campaign polling data to Russian intelligence while Russian intelligence was helping the Trump
And
campaign.
to be clear, he was fired halfway through the campaign.
Well, he may have been fired,
Yeah.
but the effort to get Russian help continued, and even beyond the effort to get Russian help.
But you
Not
made
confirmed.
sure to spread
Also
Russian
sought to get-
disinformation yourself for years by promoting this. I think that's what Republicans and what people who entrusted you as the Intel Committee chair are so confused about your culpability in all of this.
Well, I completely disagree with your premise. It's one thing to say allegations should be investigated, and they were. It's another to say that we should have foreseen in advance that some people were lying to Christopher Steele, which is impossible, of course, to do. But let's not use that as a smokescreen to somehow shield Donald Trump's culpability for inviting Russia to help him in the election, which they did, for trying to coerce Ukraine into helping him in the next election, which he did, into inciting an insurrection, which he did.
That has nothing to do with Russiagate.
Did he say
By the way.
inciting an erection?
Yeah, you see, he was so desperate. He invoked January 6th. I think there are 14 more seconds. Let's see what else he tried to pivot to.
None of that is undercut. None of that serious misconduct is in any way diminished by the fact that people lied to Christopher Steele.
No, I think just your credibility is.
Well,
But what he was saying, guys, doesn't make sense. The entire premise of Russiagate depended on the Steele dossier. So when you have people who created the Steele dossier who lied to the FBI, that discredits your entire fucking thing. But he was like, that don't matter. He still wanted the Russians to help him, right? Which never been confirmed. Never been confirmed.
He should be emphatically trying to tell the truth just as much as he was trying to seek the truth. You know, you got to correct that. If it's that sometimes when like big newspapers and stuff put something out super wrong, like the retraction's so small, it's like, well, the damage is already done out there. So it's interesting that he's just like, whatever.